And what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of that Dynamite review show on the Tricology News Talk. And this is the Double or Nothing uh, post post show. And this is the aftermath. I would say aftermath of the Double or Nothing. And yeah, for this week's Dynamite. And and also welcome my co-host with the most, Mr. Leland Benford. What's up, bro? How you feeling
What?
for this Dynamite after Double or Nothing?
Yeah, this Dynamite was pretty hype. What is up, everybody? I'm ready to talk about it, and hopefully, we can talk about some of all the new information that's been coming out about Fight Forever, AEW's first video game into the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this was more try to build everything towards Collision and towards the Forbidden Door, because we'll get to the everything that was announced for Rampage and everything they were starting to build up. Yeah, so you kind of so just kind of expect to see a lot of New Japan stars on Dynamite for the next couple of weeks leading up to Forbidden Door. And some of the matches that was on Dynamite tonight kind of give you a little glimpse that what we might see at Forbidden Door. Well, we're gonna give our thoughts and opinions. That it may happen or it may not happen, but we'll give our thoughts and opinion once we go down the show, run down the show.
Yeah, there's a couple of huge, and that was a huge announcement on this episode of Dynamite, and then also there was some little Easter eggs leading up to the storylines, leading up to Blood and Guts and all these different events. But a couple of little Easter eggs was laid in this episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, and to start off the show, we had the Blackpool Combat Club members, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta goes against the Lucha Bros and Bandito. So this was a recap from for what they had before Double or Nothing when Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta faced the Lucha Bros for the RH tag team titles. Of course, the Lucha Bros won, so this is more a payback for the BCC. So it was a very hard start to start the show. Very action packed there. Especially this is more of a showcase for Wheeler Yuta for the second week in a row, because if y'all because we talked about it on during our Double or Nothing pay-per-view review that Wheeler Yuta actually pinned Kenny Omega in the NRK arena match. So he got the pin again but for this week. So they really showcasing Wheeler Yuta this time.
Well, he is the youngest guy. He is the one with the longest future ahead of him. But some of these guys have been wrestling for decades now. So he is the future of the wrestling, business. So it was good to have it. I think I always say this on a lot of our shows. I think AEW does this so well that when they put these young guys with these veterans, it's only going to make the business. They're really invested in their future at AEW. If you don't think AEW plans to be around for a long time, then look at what they're doing when pairing these younger guys, these talented guys, with these absolute veterans, these absolute guys who know the business, who knows it, been worked with the indies, worked with big companies. I mean, Willa Yuta never were, I don't, as far as I know, never had any kind of matches in WWE, but he's surrounded with three different guys who stayed in WWE 10 plus years. I mean, how much knowledge is this guy getting, with his coaches and his mentors? Same for Darby and Sting. How much knowledge does Darby have been passed on? The AEW does this better than any other company, in my opinion. And they're pushing Yuta now. Yeah, you're right. He got the pin. That's a big pin over this group. But he got the pin to kind of push him and make him more. And they had the camera on him a lot that night. One spot that I want to call out is when Bandito had Wheeler in that in the suplex position, the delayed suplex for a whole minute, having the crowd jump count to 60. Bandito is a hell of a talent as well. He is really a guy you need to keep your eye on. I love this Lucha Trios group. I really do. It gives me those WCW callbacks. But great match, great way to open it. The crowd in San Diego was hot for this match. The crowd was great all night, but this was a really good way to open your night. We also had Daniel Bryanson on commentating the whole time, putting the BCC over. So yeah,
Yeah,
really great opener.
yeah, because they was asking Brian Daniel questions about Don Callis. He was like, like we can't speak on for Don Callis, and we just have to wait and see what he gonna say during later on in the show. So
So they
that's
they kind of confirmed that Yuta, not Yuta, but Takasha is not an official member of BCC. They're not in cahoots, to say, and that he said he didn't know that he was going to do that with a wink. So he's not officially a member of that faction.
yeah, and like I want to mention, Bandito, I got nothing against him, but I wish that Pac would come soon. I don't know when he's expected to return, but we need to get Death Trio back on board.
Oh yeah, facts. Nothing like Pac.
Yeah, but like I said before, Yuta hit the Banshee knee and the Avalanche elbow with the seatbelt for the pin. And yeah, the Black Blue Combat Club wins the first opener of the night, and Alice Morez was backstage with the Young Bucks and Heyman Page, asking how they are feeling after the Anarchy in the arena match. Matt Jackson said the BCC brought out the worst in them, as he never thought he would see the day that he's trying to burn off someone's face with an exploding sneaker. Page said they are still standing and they are still swinging. While the BCC relies on the numbers game, Evil Uno entered as Alex Reyes and John Silver, who are apologizing for interrupting them with his new friends. Page then go on after them, but Mariah asked Page thoughts on word on Kenny Omega going back to Canada. Page said Omega didn't go back home to Canada and walk off. They are definitely implying that Omega are pursuedly gone to Japan and getting back up for the elite. So, I don't know if you saw, but are you subscribed to Pro Wrestling Unlimited on YouTube? Are you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because they showed the video when after Double or Nothing went off the air, and Kenny Omega basically said, "Oh, I'm going to Japan and I'm gonna get some non AEW friends
Oh,
because remember when I said that they would
yeah,
get a Kota Ibushi
yeah.
for the elite, so that's why I say, like, oh, did Kenny Omega leave? I'm like, no, Kenny Omega is not leaving, y'all. Okay, he is going to Japan to get some backup and inform the Golden Elite and bring in Kota Ibushi, so that will be their backup. So whenever they face the the Blackpool Combat Cup again, which is going to be in Blood and Guts, so that's your Blood and Guts match.
That sounds incredible, doesn't it?
Yeah, I keep telling y'all.
That's such an incredible match. That is going to be such an incredible freaking match. First off, seeing Ibushi in a match like that and a blood and guts match on American TV will be such a new experience, because usually he kind of wrestles these classic kind of traditional matches, strong style, but it's never anything hardcore, not that I know of. I could be wrong, but as far as the matches I've seen him wrestle, they all been kind of straight laced matches. But to see him in that kind of environment, I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll wait to see when Kenny Omega comes back. And we'll definitely get into more of what Don Kelly said, because I think, like I said before, it's going to bleed into when we get to Blood and Guts, whether Code Days of Kessa is part of the Black Blue Combat cover or not. But we'll get to that in a second. But Tony Schiavone was in the ring, and he just introduced Switchblade Jay White and Juice Robinson to the ring. Asking about their attack on Ricky Starks backstage at Double or Nothing, White said he bet Starks feels on top of the world, having eliminated both of them from the Battle Royal, but Starks is not the international champion, and he lost to White. Robinson bring up that FTR saved Starks from their attack, and FTR are not Starks' friends. Since Starks has no friends, White ran down FTR until the AEW World Tag Team Champions made their way to the ring. White and Robinson hid behind Shivani as they believe FTR are there to apologize to them and join the Bullet Club Gold, calling themselves top shelf top guys. White went to hand the microphone to Harper, but dropped it, allowing Robinson to pop Harwood with a handful of quarters and hit his finisher. White laid out White Wheeler with a Blade Runner before bailing out as Ricky Starks made the save. Starks then challenged White to put an end to this next week on Dynamite. Now, this is why I say this might bleed into Forbidden Door, because we might see FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson for the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
First off, I love this promo with these guys. I love how they was hanging all over Tony Schiavone, making him uncomfortable. I really wish Tony Schiavone had a little bit of Mean Gene Orkla in him, because Mean Gene didn't allow those guys to do that. He would always, stand up for himself. But Rock Hard Juice Robinson, it's something retro and nostalgic about that guy. Like, he just reminds me of that 90s, 80s wrestler. And Switchblade reminds me of that modern kind of promo, that Conor McGregor type of attitude, that real bully aspect. And I really do like these two guys together. They're really entertaining. And then they also really held their own with FTR in the ring. It was funny. I was actually having a conversation with someone this Wednesday morning about how he used to watch wrestling. He remembers seeing, I think it was like Mr. Perfect hit somebody with a fist full of dimes. And he was like, "How they don't do that stuff anymore." I said, "I haven't seen that one in a minute." And then that night on Dynamite, Juice Robinson does that exact thing, hit somebody with a loaded fist. So I thought that was a unique coincidence that happened. And it also kind of throws back to the retro vibe of Juice Robinson that I'll be picking up on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see more from Bullet Club Gold. There could be a nice DX, not DX, but a little bit brutal kind of group. They hold themselves in the ring, and they can hold their own on the mic.
What do you think of Jay White and Juice Robinson challenging FTR for the World Tag Team titles at Forbidden Door? You think that would be a possible match?
I can see that, and I think it'd be a good match too. I mean, they are still, dripping of New Japan. I mean, this is where these guys worked for the longest. So it definitely would have, that kind of Forbidden Door style still, because these guys know the New Japan style.
Okay, cool. We'll see how that goes. And we move on to backstage to Tony Khan, and he makes a announcement towards the first Collision show, and he says that that Collision will not only be at the United Center, but it will feature the return of CM Punk.
Wow.
I have my pros and I have my cons on this one.
Mussolini and Kennedy. CM Punk is back.
Now, there was some loud cheers and there was some few boos from the crowd. But let me explain on this. Now, do I feel like it was too early to announce CM Punk? Yes. But I kind of feel like, why they did it this week? Because they maybe want to boost ticket sales, maybe, because it's going to be the first Collision show. I kind of understand why they did that. But here's the thing. Now, when CM Punk come back to Chicago, we all know he's not going to get booed because it's his hometown. But is he going to come back as a babyface, or should he come back as a heel after what happened at All Out with the media scrum?
Here's my theory. Here's a real theory, right? I got a theory that CM Punk was injured in that last match he had, winning the belt back from Moxley, and that they thought quickly on their feet, and that maybe all of this was a big work. And if that is true, if that theory is correct, then these guys have an opportunity to do a babyface or heel turn as important or as big as when Hulk Hogan joined the NWO. You see what I'm saying? So if the Elite ever became in trouble and CM Punk came down and turned and been a part of the Elite for whatever reason, they have the chance to kind of do something big in that kind of regard. But having CM Punk have his own show, have his own kind of place where he can be the big dog, and Dynamite can have their big dog. And then if he's the one to say Collision is better than Dynamite, and create this brand split where the Collision guys are showing up on Dynamite, we're in store for a lot of great TV as wrestling fans, because we all know the brand split in WWE was some of the most exciting kind of times when it was Raw versus SmackDown. That was some of the most exciting TV to see these guys come from either one. Will they have a chance now to do something like Survivor Series, going forward? Who knows? But whatever it is, you can like it, you can hate it. It's happening. And Tony Khan is going to get his money's worth out of CM Punk one way or the other. And you spend that much money on a guy, why have him sit home and be on the shelf? Why, just because he got in a fight? They're wrestlers. They're supposed to fight. So, but you're supposed to, conduct yourself in a professional manner. So why give up on all that money, when you paid for it? So I say, hey, it's a good business move. And now Andrade has a place to shine. Miro has a place to shine. The Dynamite roster is filled. We always talked about how not all the guys that he hired can get their shine, but now they can. Samoa Joe and CM Punk can possibly have a rivalry on Collision. So, I mean, that's a call back to Ring of Honor like crazy. And maybe somebody like Samoa Joe would be good to be in a rivalry with CM Punk because he's a veteran and they know each other and got history. And I know Punk respects him. Now, babyface or heel, babyface. Act like nothing happened. Keep it forward. Keep it moving.
Yeah, we'll see. Though we've been talking about who should be CM Punk's first opponent feud, but we'll see how that goes. But
I think the Ring of Honor belts is going to become the Collision belts. I think Ring of Honor might have a bigger show in Collision than they do in Dynamite now.
I think ROH just stay where ROH is.
I know, but is it too early to introduce these new belts? Will MJF be on both Collision and Dynamite? What's going to happen there?
Nah, they don't need to. They don't need to introduce new belts. Like the TNT title, that can stay on Collision because Collision is on TNT. And then the TBS title can stay on Dynamite because Dynamite is on TBS. So that'll be an on one way to to kind of spread out certain titles and let it breathe. So that way they can have their own rivalry and stuff. So that could be a good way to kind of let it breathe for a second. Yeah.
I mean, we'll definitely see what their plan is, but at the end of the day, CM Punk is going to want a belt around his waist. If he's not working on Dynamite, then what's the alternative? Because the champion got to be on Dynamite. That's their flagship show. That's their Raw. So I don't know. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah, I will wait to think about putting another belt on CM Punk again. Well, I'll wait
until I understand that for sure. He seems to get a little power hungry once he has a belt around his waist.
Yeah, I will wait. But speaking of belts, we had a three-way match, which was potentially to see who will be the next challenger for Orange Cassidy's International Championship. So we saw a three-way between Swerve Strickland, Big Bill, and Trent Beretta. This was a pretty good three-way, as everyone got their chance to shine in their moments. But the of course, like I said, the finish was to believe that everybody knew that Swerve Strickland was going to win this match because if y'all remember at Double or Nothing, Swerve Strickland and Orange Cassidy was the final two. So I kind of understand why they went this way because they probably want to tell a story between Swerve Strickland and Orange Cassidy. But I think the one question we need to ask, will Swerve Strickland be the one to dethrone Orange Cassidy?
I think it's a possibility. I mean, Swerve looks good with a belt around him. And I'm happy to see Swerve back on Dynamite more often and a part of the story. This is a really good match between these three guys. I'm not gonna lie, on paper, I was looking like, what? Why is this a triple threat? But then I realized it was for the number one contender spot, and it makes sense. But this was a very pleasing match. They had a lot of great moments for Big Bill. Big Bill is a really good big guy wrestler. Like he really sells it. He bumps well. He moves good. He looks threatening. And I think all the styles mixed together really worked in this match. Trent showed really well. But I'm happy with Swerve winning. I want to see more Swerve versus Orange Cassidy. I think they have an interesting matchup. Swerve is one of my favorites in AEW. His style is just unique and quick and sharp. I like his theme song. So I'm cool. He might be the one, but I don't know. Now, Big Bill versus Orange Cassidy would have been very interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. And we got a video package highlighting Chris Stanley's road to recovery. It's showing that it culminating to her winning the TBS title at Double or Nothing, as she is officially the one in Jade Cargill's 60-1. But that ain't gonna be the only time we'll see Chris Stanley later on in that night. But Renee Paquette welcomed the Acclaim and Daddy Ass to the entrance stage. They said things that hasn't been going their way at Double or Nothing when they lost their trios tag team title match against the House of Black. Gunn said that he feels he let the Acclaim down, but Caster said they win together and they lose together. They are still the people's choice. Boris said that a few months ago, when they were screwed out of their tag team gold, and said Gunn deserved to hold gold one more time in his career. The Acclaim love Daddy Ass, and everyone loves the Acclaim. So I feel like this ain't the last time we'll see the Acclaim and Daddy Ass versus the House of Black for the trios titles. But moving forward on.
My bad, Trico. I had you on mute. I was saying, yes, they make a polar opposite team. I'm sitting here talking to nothing, guys. But yeah, they make a good polar opposites, and I think it would be good to see Daddy Ass with some gold again.
Yeah. And moving on to what was the main topic for that show, for that show. And Tony Giovanni, he was so sick to announce Don Callis and Jose to get into the ring, who had no interest music, but instead was showered with so many boos from the crowd. Oh my God, they were so loud. I swear to God, I thought they was gonna riot.
I haven't heard heat like that since Christian in Detroit. Now these guys it was nuclear heat, as some people said. I mean, just boo after boo after boo. They did not let up on them. They killed it. I mean, this crowd did exactly what they were supposed to do. And this was a great moment. And it really helps to sell the story of this betrayal.
Yeah, absolutely. And when Don Callis said he hoped those boos are for Kenny Omega, and he says Callis is the real victim here, running down all of Kenny Omega's accomplishments thanks to Callis himself. Callis blamed the scar that he had to see every morning wake up on Omega. While Callis say he lost a nephew, but he gains a son in Takesha, who is better than Rikazana, Ozosuke, Mena, Marushi, and Okada. Takashi will show soon that he is also better than Kenny Omega. Takashi took the microphone and says they will destroy the Elite and Kenny Omega. Callis said Omega destroyed his family, so he's going to build a new one to eliminate the Elite from all Elite Wrestling. Man. Oh,
yeah. He said Takashi was better than Okada. Yo, this crowd again, if you go back and watch this promo and just watch how the camera team cut to certain members of the crowd, it was like Don in the crowd and Takashita was the story. Them talking to the audience, and the audience talking back. It was a lot of great cutaway moments seeing the audience react to them. But they got nuclear heat, and I don't think Tony Khan could ask for anything better than that moment right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, Kenny Omega is going to get Okada, and then that's where we get our blood and guts. We just have to be patient.
And he said he's going to build a new family. So who else may come in Don Callis' corner?
We'll see. And we got a highlight video of the TNT title ladder match at Double or Nothing with Wardlow retaining over Christian Cage. R. Anderson talked about biting the lizard's man's thumb, while Wardlow said Luchasaurus found out to not get involved in their business, but he'll be more than happy to finish the job if Luchasaurus wants to be next in line. Man, I cannot wait for that one.
That is, yeah. Blood and Guts is going to probably be the best Blood and Guts ever this year.
Yeah, and then we got a tag team match with the AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus the Gates of Agony. And man, let me just say this: Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, they make a pretty good tag team.
They really do. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, they really do make a good team. Absolutely. I didn't think they would. They have totally different styles, but they really do complement each other.
Yeah. Even though Cassidy and Darby Allin was kind of like I would say like 70% after what happened on Sunday, but in the end they still managed to get the win after Allin hit the coffin drop for the win. But after the match, Cage, Strickland, and Nada slowly walked up to the ring as they were about to attack. But Sting's music hit as the Icon made his way to the ring, and the NBC retreated. But Strickland never took his eyes off the international title. So that kind of sets up for Cassidy and Strickland. But I think Sting and Allin will face the rest of the Gates of Agony.
Also, the Gates of Agony is a very impressive looking team. They look like badasses. They look like you wouldn't want to fight them. I think that's a team to keep your eye on going forward.
Yeah, because they are still the ROH 6-man tag team champions with Brian Cage. So yeah.
So now moving forward, I believe it was the Hook interview, correct?
We got a little highlight video shown from MJF successfully retaining his AEW World Title, and he said the clock is ticking, and AEW is running out of competition. They are running out of gladiators for MJF to slay. It has been made clear that no one is on the level of the devil. So the question is, will he be wrestling at Forbidden Door? I don't know. After what he said at the media scrum, I don't think so, but we'll see. I don't think.
So with MJF, by the way, MJF did a hell of a job at Double or Nothing. We covered that in our Double or Nothing review. But yeah, who is next for this guy, man? Would it be CM Punk?
I think CM Punk was made best for All In, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I wonder whose MJF opponent is going to be going into All In. Like, if they're gonna start that kind of if they're gonna start that rivalry soon.
Yeah. But we'll see. But now we get to the Hook segment. As Tony Schiavone was in the ring again, he introduced the FTW champion Hook. Schiavone talked to Hood about helping the Hardys win on Sunday, giving Matt Hardy the contract of Ethan Page. But before Hook could say what's next, the El Fascion interrupted as Joe, the assistant, said this is what they had to do to get an opportunity. Roosh is too dangerous to be on TV, but isn't there tonight. But tells Preston Vance and Dragon to attack Hook, which they did. But then Jungle Boy Jack Perry made the save and took out both Vance and Dragonito on the ramp with a chair. While Jose tried to retreat to the ring, he was met with a suplex from Hook. And then Jungle Hook stood tall, and then they stared Vance and Drago on the ramp. So I know a lot of people on social media said when Jungle Boy had Jungle Boy had the chair, he was like, "Oh, he had all black. Is he gonna turn heel?" I was like, "It's not bad, but if he was to turn heel, then I would say let him reunite with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, so that way they could be that heel Jurassic Express if they want to go that route."
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Jungle Boy he showed a moment where he was going to do kind of a cheat, like hit Darby with the belt and Double or Nothing. Maybe that was the seed. Maybe he is gonna look to go into that dark place so he can know what it feels like, so he can get what he wants next time and not let the belt slip away from him again. But yeah, I'm a little over Hook's gimmick, this whole not talking thing. I feel like Orange Cassidy already has that locked down. So to see Hook constantly do it, and also Hook didn't sell his beatdown. He got beat down by Preston Vance and my man's, but then when he got in the ring with Jungle Boy, he wasn't selling anymore. He was just back to normal pacing. Doesn't look confident in the ring. He looks confident when he fights, but when he has to do these promo bits, not so much. So I think they need to put Hook with somebody. I think they need to put Hook with some talker or somebody that can help him out in that regard. Because I think his gimmick is getting a little stale.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll definitely see because everybody's saying, "Oh, he needs to turn heel. He needs to turn heel." But I'm like, hold up, let it play out first, and we'll see how that goes. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for that whole shtick to end. And maybe Jungle Boy would bring it out of him.
All right, and then we go to our. Oh no! Wait, before we get to the TBS title match, Renee Paquette was backstage with the new AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm, along with Saraya and Ruby Soho from the Outcast. Storm said luck had nothing to do with her title win on Sunday, as he traveled around the world to get to this point. Soho praised Storm's work ethic, while Saraya did the same. As Storm said, they are the only ones lucky that the AEW fans need. So like I said before, they gonna let it. They gonna let Tony Storm's title reign play out, and then when we get to All In, which is gonna be in England. Then that's when Jamie Hayter returns and get her title back.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. But moving from the women's championship to the TBS championship.
And this is why I don't understand. This what gets me all the time. Whenever there's a new champion crowned, why does Nyla Rose have to always get the first shot? I don't get it.
I think because Nyla looks opposing, she looks like a big figure. You know, she might be just a great way to. I mean, also she's an OG too. Chris Statlander is coming off a major injury. They might want to put her in the ring with somebody she's comfortable with and familiar with. It's going to help Chris out if things, go bad.
Yeah, but nothing against Nyla Rose. She was good, but I feel like every time there's a new champion, Nyla Rose always got to get the first shot. Always got to get the first shot.
You know how I'm starting to see Nyla Rose kind of as like Natalia, like how WWE has Natty, and like Natty always kind of helps the girls out, takes the L, but they have a safe match. That's kind of how I'm seeing Nyla. Nyla can work with these women and be safe and help them carry through. So it's about making sure Chris Statlander is getting comfortable. She's been out of the ring for a minute. I know she's been training, but nothing like being on TV again, So work with someone that she's familiar with before she started working with all this new talent.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. But I wouldn't say about new talent for this one because Taya Valkyrie was shown backstage watching, so that could be a next potential challenger for Chris.
And again, Tyree Valkyrie is somebody with 10 plus years experience, worked all over the world. So somebody who has that kind of care and that can help carry a match with someone who is getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention, this was Chris Statlander's first match on Dynamite since January of 2022.
Wow. So over a year.
Like a year and a couple of months.
Yeah. That is wild. So welcome back, Chris Statlander. I was a big fan of hers. My wife is a big fan of Chris Statlander. So yeah, we're happy to see her back.
Yeah. And
also, let's give it up for Jade one more time in the building. Let's just give it up for Jade. 60-1, hella impressive. I know she's going to be off TV for a little bit, but that's going to suck. But happy to see her when she come back. It's already been rumored that she's going to come back with a huge babyface push.
I say when we bring her back on TV, it's time to put her to the world title picture.
It's time. Yeah, why not?
It's time.
She deserved it.
Yeah, and then Statlander won with the 450 splash for the victory. Valkyrie was not impressed when she was walking on the bat, but Valkyrie, let me just say this: Mama's home.
Mama's home.
And then the main event, Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus Chris Jericho and Saraya. So a pretty good the fun main event as Jericho did suffer a the claw from Britt Baker, that was funny. But in the end though, Adam Cole and Britt Baker picked up the win here. So there's a lot of questions here coming out of this. Is this feud actually over, or is it going to continue? Because I can definitely see Britt Baker continuing her feud with the Outcast. Maybe let Britt Baker get into the world title picture with Toni Storm until Jamie Hayter returns. I can see that happening. But what we gonna do with Adam Cole and Chris Jericho? Are they gonna wrap their feud? Or is this gonna continue to Forbidden Door? So there's a lot of questions here.
For sure, for sure. I think I didn't want to say this. I like Adam Cole. I like him better as a heel. I think for some reason he's just a much better heel to me than a babyface. But overall, this is a really good match. I think what's Jericho and Britt Baker exchanged a lot. Jericho allowed Britt Baker to do a lot of moves to him. Of course, he can't do too many moves to her. But he did allow her to kind of take advantage of things. That also kind of plays into the Fight Forever video game. There's intergender battles on there. But yeah, this was a really good. This is their. I know this was their first ever intergender main event match. And it works really well. After Ty Mello kind of has her baby and back in the ring, I can see Britt Baker and Adam Cole versus Sammy and Ty. And if there's maybe even Kip Sabian and damn.
Yeah.
Kip Sabian's, what's his wife's name? I just forgot it. Oh, Penelope Ford. There we go. I know. So Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford. So there's a couple of couples in there, and I'm sure they can always, add in a couple or more.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Adam Cole as a heel for a long time because the way they picture Adam Cole, he's
super they're baby
how
face.
I say this, he's like the new Cody Rhodes and John Cena when you look at it as the new face of AEW.
Yeah, like Cody Rhodes and Brandy and everything, Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so far, I mean, that was a really good match for them. I really enjoyed it, really liked it. It was entertaining. I think this match was better than the Double or Nothing match, to be honest.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
The crowd was more behind this match. They really cared. The crowd was not behind them in Double or Nothing. So, I mean,
the crowd was asleep most of the show. The crowd was asleep.
You said what?
The crowd was asleep. The only time they were up is when the two main events came on. That was slow.
No, for Double or Nothing, I really do feel like I think they woke up on the FTR match. I really do feel like they were up for the first match. They for the Battle Royal, they went straight to sleep on Adam Cole and Jericho. But FTR versus Jarrett and Jay Lethal, I think, got them back on their toes. And I think and then I went right into the ladder match, and I think they got picked up right after that. But before that, I mean, that one match, maybe it was just too much going on for the crowd to really focus in. But
I don't know, man, because the last pay-per-views I've been seeing, them international crowds, they doing a lot more better than the us in America. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, the international crowds, I can definitely understand that because they don't get it as often. They may not even watch or follow along with the TV program as much. But when they get it, it's going to be hella loud. But I do think the crowd was there. I think this crowd tonight was really well. And I also think Double or Nothing crowd was good for the most part instead of that damn one fight. If you go back and watch, they picked up on the FTR and they were with that and they were with it after that. They really was with the Four Pillars match. But yeah, so this crowd definitely cared more about the Jericho and Adam Cole beef. Not so much for Double or Nothing.
Yeah, this crowd was more awakened for Dynamite than for Double or Nothing. But we'll see how they go for going into Forbidden Door. Because like I said before, we're going to see a lot of New Japan stars coming in on Dynamite for the next couple of weeks, especially for this week's Rampage. We're getting a triple A Mega Championship to being defended. We got the New Japan Strong Women's World Title being defended. We got the New Japan TV title being defended, and then of course the RRH Pure title being defended. So it's pretty much a championship Friday for Rampage this week, and then for next week's Dynamite, we got Ricky Starks and versus Jay White with Juice Robinson and FTR being banned from ringside, and Orange Cassidy defends the AEW International title against Swerve Strickland.
Gotcha. Sound like a really hype show.
Yep. So that's this week's Dynamite review. So we're building close to not only Forbidden Door, we're building up to Collision as well. So it's going to be an interesting month of June.
Well, it sounds like the summer is about to pick up, especially leading into All In. It sounds like things are ramping the F up.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we wrap up, anything else you want to plug in?
Well, guys, as always, we're talking about Empathy, getting ready to come at, featuring Anthony Go Go. Our teaser trailer just reached over 107,000 views today. We did go look at our premiere spot. Guys, I'm excited to announce our premiere will be July 29th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Tara Theater in Brookhaven or Druid Hill. So, guys, I'm excited to be able to announce that. We are looking forward to show this movie. I can't wait for you to see what kind of promo Anthony Go cut in this movie as his character Demetrius Watkins, and see all the hard work and effort that we put into this film. It's been a long road, and it's finally starting to come to an end. New trailers about to getting ready to get cut. New poster getting ready to come out. But we are there. We are there. It's finally coming to fruition. So if you guys have any questions about that, or you want to know more about it, you can follow our Facebook at Empathy Film or our Instagram at Empathy_film.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep you guys updated with everything that we post and everything. So so be on the lookout for that as we're getting towards the premiere and in the end of July. So to keep an eye on that. But other than that, he is Leland and I'm Trico, and we're signing off, and we'll see y'all soon.
Peace.